One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their thirsty Thursday morning. I definitely know that we are. We got a humongous morning ahead of us, though. As you guys probably have heard, we did do a lot of the breaking news yesterday. There was a fuck ton of breaking news that was happening around the globe, of course, in particular with Iran. So we're going to get into that. Today, Trump threatens major Iran strikes for tonight. Now, he did that. He threatened it yesterday, late last night. But we'll get all into the hyper specifics here in a minute. First, let's go ahead and get into a chronological timeline of what we're going to be discussing this morning. First, we're going to see what Trump was making that announcement about signing that ICE enforcement bill, the not the Save America Act, but it's something very similar to that. They named it that for the funding of ICE. Anyways, Secure America Act. I think that's the name of it. Anyways, then we have Hegseth says U.S. will strike Iran, quote, hard tonight. And that was last night. And Hegseth did say that last night. And we did strike them all throughout the night, throughout yesterday afternoon, through the evening, into early this morning. And then now we're basically waiting. So Trump is going to give this little leeway of like, hey, you guys signed this deal. If we don't sign this deal, this is your last chance. Now we're going to go back to full scale war over here. So anyways, U.S. strikes multiple targets in Iran, CENTCOM says, and this came out 16 hours ago. That was that retaliation with that Apache helicopter. We do have that information for you. But also, Iran strikes just 12 hours ago. Trump details Tomahawk missile barrage and threatens Tehran. This is leading us into the night last night. If you guys probably were watching as well, there is a violent protests with an plural erupt in Belfast after stabbing attack, and we're going to get into that. We hopefully we don't get to see too much fucking chaos, because it is chaos over there right now. But nonetheless, 4 hours ago, urgent plea: Iran calls Trump to stop bombing onslaught. Yes, that just coming out 4 hours ago. And then 2 hours ago, the White House gives first look inside the UFC Freedom 250 venue. So yes, they're going to be showing that whole UFC setup in the back there, I believe. And then we also have President Trump issues new threats at Iran, and that's the threats we're going to be discussing about for tonight. So be prepared for tonight. I can almost guarantee you that Iran's not going to sign any type of deal to end this war today. So get ready for round two. And then breaking, bigger Iran bombings coming, Trump reveals. This is coming out just an hour ago, like I was just saying. And then Trump is getting fed up with Iran. So that's literally the headlines right now. We're going to get into all of that madness here in a second. First, let's go ahead and do our call to actions, and then we'll get into the world's madness. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday, and then, of course, we have members only on Saturday mornings. Speaking of members, please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. A little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, as well as, anything regarding politics and all that stuff. That's definitely where you can, get a hold of me directly. And then, of course, we have a Discord server for all of you legends. We make sure we have a place for all of us to congregate after the show and, discuss all of the world events. And as a community, make sure you guys go into the link down below where the invite link for the Discord is. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen. At any time, you can donate to those, and I get 100% of the proceeds. So anyways, we will read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat. I've got my email up. So, all right. Good morning to everybody, man. We're about to get into the madness of this morning. First, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody. We're going to try anyways. We got a lot of you guys. We got Carney Vanguard coming in with Motobomb Virginia and Sick Bastard. Thank you guys from the coffee crew for showing so much love and also rating us this morning. I very much appreciate that. We got brother VC up in the building, as well as Gary. Appreciate you guys. Mr. Critters, yes, sir. We got Prez. We got Rabbit of Chaos. Always appreciate you guys. Naomi, the best in the business. Shout out to you, by the way. We got Steve Easy, as well as Cameron. Appreciate you guys. We got 5150 Boomer. Yes, sir. Let's see. We're running our way down. Miss Lotus, good morning to you. We got Mr. Steve Posey. Yes, sir. And Steve Easy saying, double tap that screen and give a like for Mike. I like that shit. Absolutely. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. We got Link It Up with Poncho. My man, good morning to you. Great to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning. I definitely know that we are. Let's see. We're scrolling down as fast as humanly possible. You guys are chatting back and forth. We got Texas Gidget. Good morning to you as well. And Easy Frank. Yes, sir. All right, let's go ahead and get into the madness. We got a lot to discuss. First, we're going to discuss this. Now, we're not going to play this whole thing. This was from yesterday when Trump was signing that Save America Act, right? I think that's what it's called, for the funding of ICE and Border Patrol. But anyways, we'll see him sign this real quick. And then he does take some questions. And there's some things that we need to discuss regarding oil. So I made a big post about it, and he actually made the announcement on this right here, and it's just a matter of finding it. But let's go ahead and take it from the top, and we'll try to see what's going on here.
Anytime you're ready. Are you ready?
They're ready.
It's an honor to have these very distinguished people
Oh yeah, brother Carney, I very much appreciate it.
alongside of me, not behind me, alongside of me. I would never say behind me, because they're not behind anybody. They're great. This morning, I'm thrilled to sign the Secure America Act to immediately and fully fund the Department of Homeland Security through the end of my term. So we won't have that to be talking about anymore, Lisa.
Can we fix the president's audio, please?
No, we will not, sir.
We'll give the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol, and that's what they are. They're heroes, what they have to go through to keep us safe.
Yeah, Virginia Chaos. I was just saying that. That's hilarious.
The support and resources they need to defend our borders, protect our homeland, and to keep America safe. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson. He's incredible. Where is Mike Johnson?
Right here.
Mike, you're doing an incredible job. Not a big majority. Just rather have 40 or 50. I don't think you know what to do. We have. You say, what are we doing? He's done an amazing job. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, and Todd is up. And
Okay, you don't need to announce every single person. Please, let's get on with it.
Thank
for
you.
more than, thank you very much. Appreciate it being here. Gone through a lot.
We just skipped through like 4 minutes.
For more than 100 days, congressional Democrats
There we go.
tried to block all funding for the Department of Homeland Security in a reprehensible attempt to throw open the borders of the United States of America. They want to drag us straight back to chaos and crime. The crooked Joe Biden administration, one of the most corrupt administrations, probably the most corrupt ever. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And we're not going to let them do that. I have to say that Washington just had some crime numbers out, and it's the lowest number, best crime numbers we've
Mr. Shout out to my man, by the way. Great to see you, by the way. God bless. Hopefully all is well with you, man. It's been a minute.
had, they say, in 58 years. So we went from being a crime-ridden city, our capital, being a crime-ridden place, to being among the safest cities in the country. I'm so happy. And you're big beneficiaries because most of you live here. You hear all the time, the press, the media, and even actually some of the media, a couple of people that I would not suspect, a couple of people truly treat me unfairly, but they came up and they thanked me because it's so much. We have a safe city now. And we also have a beautiful city. We had 22 fountains. Every one of them didn't work. One of them, probably the best was one that hasn't worked for 50 years. That was about the best. They've all been out of commission for 50 years or more. Can you imagine that? They were graffiti strewn, grass growing through the cracks, and they were in terrible shape. And all 22 have now been opened. And the most magnificent possibly of all, the one in front of Union Station is beautiful. You see that? It was all graffiti all over the place. We, through a lot of work, we got it looking maybe better than it was the day they put it in. But the one that they're all talking about is the almost 2,500 foot long. It's taller than any building in the world. Actually.
Okay, we already know about the reflective pool. It's cool and all, but like, can we get into the shit, please?
It smelled. And anyway, we took 11 dumpsters of garbage out.
Okay, cool.
Right? And we just opened it last night, and people are going wild over it. Stone-based, the water leaked through the stone. So we're very proud of it. It's going to be great. Now we're doing a new surface on the World War II fountain because the surface is so bad, and that'll be done during.
And that's cool. I'm okay with shit like that for sure.
July 4th was a very important date, so that was even tighter at mine. I had more people than him, but they said we have a very safe city. Everyone's going out to eat.
Sorry, I've got to skip through all his bullshit antics. We got a lot to get through this morning, and I can't sit here for 50 minutes listening to him ramble. There's certain things that we need to get out of this, and then we'll move on.
Now restaurants were all closed. They were all closing 7%. Can you believe it? People are calling me up, friends that were leaving Memphis for a year period. We have it good, and nobody.
Just please get to the signing.
I believe it was the most insecure and unsecure border anywhere.
There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere.
Because there's no country, even a third world country, that has a situation like that, where you'd have criminals just walk across totally unchecked. They had the Biden, it wasn't Biden, he didn't know what the hell was going on. It was people that are radical left lunatics who are very smart, very violent, very vicious, politically vicious. And they allowed this open border policy where millions of people came into our country, unchecked, unvetted, people from jails, people.
Oh, you're totally in the wrong fucking place there, little boy. You got to remember, you're on that side of the screen, dumbass. You're on my show. If you want to go fucking watch the president speak, why don't you go watch the mainstream media like a good boy, bitch-ass boy?
Drug dealers, people from mental institutions.
Shut up.
Jails and mental institutions from all over the world were emptied out into our country. And we've got a lot of them out. We have a ways to go. It's very tough with the courts because the judges have been very terrible. They've been terrible. Very sad. But we're fighting our way through it. We have made this in fact, we made it a country that, as you saw last month, they said we had the lowest murder rate that we've had in 125 years. Think of that. And that's despite the fact, because we got a lot out, but we do have more. We had 11,888 people come into our country who committed a murder. 50%, more than 50%, created more than one murder. Think of that. So you had people coming, I think 7.
What's up, Logical Spark? By the way, good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday morning. So I'm trying to get him to get to where he's going to talk about doing the signing, and then we've got to get into something regarding oil. I'm holding my tongue because I'm trying to get there.
And that's made by largely Democrat people. They'd be back on their boat the following night. So we're doing a great job. In the last 12 months, the numbers have changed in this country like nobody's ever seen before, but 0 illegal aliens have been admitted. And that's made by largely Democrat people. Those lists are made. And I find it hard to believe when I say 0. There must have been some, but they say 0, and it's very close to 0. It's hard to believe. You look, they used to have that certain areas of the, they took a picture this morning.
It's amazing how much he can talk. It really is.
We can never let that happen. We can never let that happen, what happened to our country again, because no country can stand it. No country could have withstood what these people. We had a border czar who never saw the border. We had a border czar who never once, the people that were giving good paychecks to. They never called up ICE. They never called up the Border Patrol, who are phenomenal people, by the way. She never once called them. She was the border czar for 4 years, almost 4 years, and she never went to the border, and she never called up. I used to call them all the time, Paul, Brandon. I used to call them all the time and say, hi, how we doing on the border? Sir, we're doing okay. But they're great people, amazing people. She never called them. We had the worst border, I think, of any country in history. No third world country would allow people to come into their country like that. So the bill provides crucial funding for domestic law enforcement investigations and combating child exploitation.
And he's reading off what he's about to sign. So
continuing our work to restore law and order across our nation and to protect America's youth. We're so proud of Washington, D.C. and the National Guard, the job they've done. And we've worked with the Capitol Policing. They're great people. I've gotten to know so many of them. Very simply, the radical left Democrats, and I'm going to use that term a lot because they're dumb. I mean, who wants open borders? Who wants transgender mutilization of your child? Who wants that? Who wants men playing in women's sports? They're dumb. They're Democrats.
They're Democrats. Come on.
What's that thug?
We got Papa D coming in with the cheap hello, by the way, with 2 spot. Very much appreciate that. Making it rain. Thank you very much for the $2, my man.
Man, he's a thug.
Good morning.
And they're trying to make excuses for him. I mean, he's worse than any human being that's ever run for office, probably. I don't know him. I don't want to say bad, but I just look. I mean, nobody's ever had a record like that. And you'll have Schumer. He goes crazy over this or that, or Epstein. This guy. Why are they?
Word. And Prez, he's no longer with us. I see that he pussed out or something.
Talking about him, he said, well, we don't know.
Oh, there we go.
This guy's got a rap sheet. I've never seen anything like it. He's a thug. I know thugs. I had to deal with thugs. I built a lot of buildings. I dealt with the toughest people on earth. I dealt with worse than thugs. This guy's a thug. He's a low-level thug. And he's running to be a senator to work with Eric Schmidt. Great Eric will handle him.
Get to the signing, please, man.
He's a thug. He's a cheap, no good person. And I watch he's
just fucking dropping it. Shit.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
All right, back to this.
senators of the Democrats, and well, we don't really know. You do know. He's as bad. I've never seen a person like that run for office. And
yes, I got you.
A few moments later.
Shit.
the guy from Texas different, but he's terrible too. He's terrible. These are radical left communists. But I watched this guy this morning, and he was so bad. He was so bad. He's a bad guy, just a bad guy. He must be laughing up his sleeve when he looks at these idiots going like Schumer. Well, he's okay. He's okay. He's not okay. Can you imagine if the Republicans had him?
Oh my God.
What if we had him, John? So, I really believe it. If it meant losing the Senate, you would not let that happen. That's just a terrible thing. I mean, I watch it happening. It's unfolding. It's really history because there's never been a guy like that that's ever run for office at any level. I don't think at any level. And the excuses, they come up every day. Somebody comes forward with really proven stuff. Even his business, he's not a businessman at all. His parents supported him. Guy's a loser.
Guy's a loser.
Might be very nice.
Damn.
But very simply, the radical left Democrats.
What's up, Al Patterson? Good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning so far.
And I look forward to the day when I don't call them Democrats anymore. And I won't if they do their job.
And I won't.
If they want to stop crime, if they want to lower taxes, if they want to do the common education, the good things. There's so many things we can do together. I look forward to the day that I don't call them Democrats anymore. There'll be that day, I think, I hope. But they're
probably not.
And they voted with the cartels, the terrorists, the gang members, the drug dealers, the human traffickers, the child predators. And our great Republican majorities voted to protect law-abiding American citizens. I mean, they voted to raise your taxes. They voted for men in women's sports. They voted in favor of men participating in women's sports. It's ridiculous. They voted for the transgender mutilization of your child. They voted for all these things. They voted for open borders. So bad. One of the worst things that's ever happened in this country. Hardest thing to cure because we had 25,000 people. Remember this, because countries set those people up. When countries put people into a cartel, through the cartels, they put them into a whole group of 10, 15, 20,000 people that come in. They're not giving you their best people. They're giving you people that they don't want. And they're sending them into.
No, he's just definitely trying to show what the left is doing compared to what he's doing, but he's focused on it now for way too long. I mean, look, we're 27 minutes into this thing and he hasn't signed this thing. I mean, come on, man.
And the Democrats voted in favor of that. It's really a shame.
There it goes.
So bad for
come
the
on.
country. You'd almost think they hate the country because they can't. They're not stupid people. You can't cheat like they did. And look at the election in California as an example. After a week, they determined that the kid who's leading and had all the mojo, all of a sudden he doesn't make the runoff. And then I hit them hard on that, but I started talking about Steve Hilton, who's a fantastic guy. And I saw them say it was going to be 2 weeks before they knew. And I started hitting them. It's going to happen to Steve Hilton too. It's watch. You got to watch. And they approved Steve Hilton very quickly. They didn't want to. There was too much heat on him. The only reason he got approved, he had all the votes he needed, probably to be first place. But the only reason they approved Steve Hilton is going to be 2 weeks.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
You posted this morning about Iran.
They're amazing and such people. They're amazing people. Every one of them. I know every one of them. They're amazing people. They love the country. They want to do right for the country. And if you have any questions, please, let's go.
Mr. President,
Here we go.
You
Questions.
posted this morning about Iran. You said that they've taken too long to get to a deal. I want to make sure I quote you correctly. You said that now they will have to pay the price.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that specifically?
Now, this is specifically where we need to be to get what I broke news about Iranian oil being taken by the United States. I guess we've been taking oil from them every single night. And they, he just announced it because they, quote, just figured it out. So we're going to get to that here in a minute.
We're going to be attacking them very hard.
You're resuming bombing?
Yeah, well, we are based on a helicopter. I guess we have the right to do that. They shot down a very incredible, actually an incredible machine. And at first they said they didn't do it. Then they admitted they did. It's sort of easy because we have the bomb. We actually have the bomb. Got very lucky that bomb didn't explode. That bomb was lodged in a helicopter. It didn't explode. It was on fire, but it didn't explode. Those two guys, they knew how to fly, but they got very lucky. And then we had the unmanned boat going very, very fast at speeds that you wouldn't want to go. That's why it's unmanned, I guess, because nobody
What's up, Charles, from down under over there in Australia? Great to see you, by the way. Good morning.
can go in that. But they rescued. So both people are, fortunately, the pilots are okay. Now, look, I've been working with Iran for a number of months. And they should sign a deal. It's a good deal. It doesn't give them the right to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, it totally prohibits them from ever having a nuclear weapon. And it was just tap, tap, tap. I don't know what they're doing. So they then shot at our helicopter. Very expensive helicopter, by the way, but much more importantly,
It definitely is very expensive.
unfortunately, they're okay. But an amazing rescue. If you ever get a clip, you won't believe the rescue, how cool it was.
Yeah, that rescue was epic, actually. Not that I actually saw the rescue, but what I did see is what they used to rescue, which was an unmanned drone boat. It was badass, and you can control it from 1,000 nautical miles away. The thing is sick.
The equipment we have. Look, we have the strongest military in the world. And I gave them a break at the request of Pakistan, the Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan are great. We stopped them from going to war with India. You would have had a nuclear war if it wasn't for me. But they became friendly to me, very friendly, and they stayed close to Iran, and they worked, and they still are working on trying them to do what's right. But we want a deal that's meaningful. We want a deal that works. We don't want to just have a Barack Hussein Obama.
Here, Naomi, I got a clip for him. I got something for him. Let's find it for him.
Man, motherfucker talk all the shit they want.
Of course, it would glitch out on the other side, though.
Man, motherfucker talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Shit.
Deal, JCPOA, the worst deal. That was a path to a nuclear. It's the exact opposite. I like on television, they say, oh, they should have kept that deal. First of all, it was over. It was a short-term deal. That deal was a path to a nuclear weapon. This is a path against a nuclear. You can't have a nuclear weapon. His was a path to a nuclear weapon. They were developing during his administration nuclear weapon. If they had a nuclear weapon, there'd be no Israel, there'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens. But we hit them hard yesterday, and we're going to hit them again hard today, in case you miss it, in case you don't turn on your television set. And we'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because you know what? They dealt with some very stupid presidents. I have to say that. I'm embarrassed to say it. Some very stupid people were sitting there. Yeah.
Mr. President, you mentioned the Senate race in Maine. Are you all in supporting Susan Collins?
Okay, I don't care about that. Honestly, I could care less. What I do care about is him getting into the oil discussion.
He has a connection to the blind sheep.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could get your
I
thoughts.
think it's terrible. Okay. I think it's terrible. I've seen it.
We're skipping ahead.
Come up with good names for people. And they were supposed to correct him. And they never corrected him when they were signed. They didn't get what I loved. After 6 years, Canada, with Mexico and Canada, we have trade deficits. We should have surpluses with them. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything that they have. So the primary thing that I got, it was a much better deal than NAFTA. much better. It was sort of a good deal, but it was a great deal for one reason. It gave the right to terminate. And who would have thought that I was, they just didn't want to have it during the 4-year period when I was president. So now they made it so that I wouldn't be president. And because they rigged the election, the second election, as you probably hear and probably know, most of you know.
Oh my God, get to it.
Now it's been proven, and it will be proven as time goes by even more so. We have things that you won't believe. When we release the full files, you're not going to believe how crooked the second 2020 election was. But
Oh, Papa D, I absolutely still do it. Let's just get it over with. Let's do it.
We just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that is actual factuals.
Denied.
Talk about good propaganda. That's the best we've heard yet.
who would have thought that it comes due in my term? I mean, this was, thank you very much. So it was very important that we be able to do that. So we're talking to them. We'll see if we do something.
Just before we came in here, you posted about Phil Pulte and that he'd be starting a job early. You said he's going to be downsizing the DNI. Can you talk about
Hey, I don't care about that. I want to hear about the oil. Come on, man.
And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to look foolish when they flipped it a year later for hundreds of billions of dollars more. So I kept it. And I put him in charge as soon as I got here. And he's done an amazing job. Could be worth $1 trillion.
It's a pretty different portfolio, though.
Well, it's like everybody else. We're interviewing 5 different, but and I'm not sure how to. Every time they bring something up, he's worse than anybody that we've ever. When they say we can't let them, they've done it on numerous occasions. I said we can. This what we're signing today has been amazing, but they tried to extort us, and eventually, and they were losing tremendous support because they're extorting on law and order, and
Okay.
they get away with it so quickly. It's amazing because you don't think of soccer. We use the word. No, I can say it now.
Oh, here it is. Okay, here's what I've been looking for, what I truly care about. I mean, this is really the real news right here.
Are you concerned, Mr. President, about the latest inflation number which came out this morning? Could that be a
No,
negative
I love it.
for
The
Republicans
numbers were
in terms
great.
of trying to
You know what I
hold
really
the
love?
process
I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships late at night with no lights because they don't have any radar because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel. I mean, you take a look. Remember when I did this, I said, look, the one bad thing will be we hit the best economy we've ever hit. And I said to my people, I had Scott, I had Howard, I had Pete, I had all of them. I had Todd in the room.
Yes, by the way, we have well over 150 people in here between both the live streams. Make sure you guys double tap that screen, like that, hit that like button. I very much appreciate it. You guys don't have to like it for all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here on Insane Wheels. So thank you for that.
I said, the one thing we have to do now, we had just hit the highest stock market in history, highest 401ks in history. Everything was going well. And I said, I hate to do this to you guys, but Iran's going to have a nuclear weapon very soon. We have to
Yo, we got Steve Easy coming in, sending in $1 dues. I very much appreciate that on the Cash App. Dues are paid, kind sir.
go and attack. So we hit them with the B-2 bombers. We took a lot of courage. It was totally successful. We buried it, very hard to get. But now we had to make the second move. And I said, the bad part is the stock market will go down by a lot based on predictions of experts, like 25%. And it was worth it. To me, it was worth it not to have a nuclear weapon. And the other thing is that oil would go to $250 a barrel.
See,
It's at 80.
he goes, it's at $89 right now. It would have been $250 if I weren't jacking their oil this whole time.
And which is pretty amazing. And here's the key. We just hit today another stock market high, 74 in my short time here, 74 days we had stock market all-time historical highs. Nobody can believe it. The Dow, the S&P. S&P was at 7,000. They said in 4 years, maybe 5 years. It will never hit it during the term. It was too much. I hit it in my first year. I hit on the Dow, it was 50,000 was an impossible number. They said 5-6 years out, you'd hit. Well, I hit it in my first year. And now I get everyone in the room and say, congratulations, but now I'm going to take it down a little bit because we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And they all agreed with me, Todd, you remember. Everybody agreed. And we took a little journey down to Iran. We first stopped off at Venezuela, by the way. And we have paid for that war many, many times over. And we have great relationships with the people of Venezuela. We get along with them great. It was a great success. It was a one-day war. It was really, to be exact, 48 minutes.
Wow, hold on. We got a major donation, by the way, a whale coming in. We got Mr. sending in 50 bucks saying from Mr. MAGA with a United States flag, man. So I very much appreciate that. I had to blow it out of the water right there because it was a bomb, bro. So thank you for that.
And it was over. And Venezuela's done great. Relationships with the people are great. It's become a happy country, believe it or not. I mean, it's become a happy country. And we're taking out millions of barrels of oil from Venezuela. And then we went to Iran. And essentially, we've done the same thing. It doesn't look as pretty, but there's no Navy. 159 ships at the bottom of the sea. There's no Air Force. All of their planes are blown up. Most of their drones are gone. Most of their drone-making ability is gone. Most of their missiles are gone. All of their leadership is gone, so they replaced it. All of that leadership is gone, so they replaced it. And that's the people we're dealing with now. And I think they're going to want to make a deal, but we're going to find out.
Inflation to come down between that.
So real quick, what he was just saying right there. Let me pull up on my YouTube page. I'm going to show you what my report on that was, because I made a couple of breaking news posts yesterday. So let's go to the channel here. All right, so three different things. So regarding that whole oil thing, this was 22 hours ago when this all was breaking. Breaking news, President Trump says the United States has been quietly taking millions and millions of barrels of Iranian oil and only revealed it today because, quote, they just figured it out. According to Trump, those actions are a major reason oil has not surged to $250 per barrel despite the conflict. He also stated that once the war is over, quote, you'll see oil drop to where it was before. If accurate, this would be one of the most significant behind-the-scenes economic developments of the entire Iran conflict and could help explain why energy prices have remained lower than many analysts expected. So that was the first thing that we broke yesterday, and then we broke the whole thing that was going on yesterday with the Situation Room, right after the Situation Room, in the response of this attack for the Apache helicopter that was shot down by a drone. The ceasefire appears to be over after today's Situation Room meeting. Reports indicate the United States is moving forward with additional military action against Iran. The situation is rapidly developing, and the next several hours could mark one of the most significant escalations we've seen in this conflict. Stay tuned. This story is far from over. Now, they did go through with some retaliatory action there. Now they've led up after, quote unquote, bombing them. Iran called Trump and asked him to stop the bombing. He said, we'll stop the bombing soon. The bombing stopped this morning. Okay. And then he's giving them until tonight to sign a deal. If they don't sign a deal, he's going to, quote, bomb the shit out of them. Now that's what's coming out from Trey Yingst 15 hours ago. And I basically wrote it up. I said, Trey Yingst to Fox News reports he just spoke to Trump. Trump said Iran called him tonight and asked the U.S. to stop the bombing. Trump said the bombing will stop shortly. He also told Trey Yingst if Iran doesn't sign a deal, quote, we'll bomb the shit out of them tomorrow night, which is tonight, by the way. So anyways, that is that real quick. We're going to move on, though. We got a lot to discuss still, and we're already 34 minutes into the fucking stream. That's crazy because we still have a lot of stories to get through here. Anyways, Hexes says U.S. will strike Iran hard tonight, which they did. That was last night. Let's go ahead and bring that up so you guys can at least be...
Let's continue.
Now that we actually can hear and have decent audio, we don't have to have my fucking board so cranked. Here we go.
Continue on right now. Speaking right outside of CENTCOM headquarters in Tampa, we have Secretary of Defense.
What's up, Dancing Deer, by the way? Good morning.
Hegseth speaking right now. Let's listen in.
Because CENTCOM, Central Command, will be busy
I know, I've been
tonight
watching, Frank.
Because President Trump said we will be hitting Iran hard, and we will be. Because Iran has a chance to make a good deal, a great deal, to codify what they said they've been willing to do, and they haven't been willing to do it. So, as President Trump said, they've been tapped.
What's up, Kurt, by the way? Good morning to you as well.
Tapping. You can see when someone's trying to tap on a deal. Instead, they're going to have tap bombs dropping on key facilities in Iran from the United States of America. And that's
oh shit.
It's not because we want to restart anything we don't have to restart. It's because the War Department is prepared to set the terms to ensure that we get the kind of deal President Trump expects. And Admiral Cooper and the team here at CENTCOM has done a phenomenal job from the beginning on Epic Fury and through this blockade, ensuring that we have a chance to reach that end state, which is Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, which they say they don't want. And so since we're so close to that negotiated deal, if that's the case, they should step up and do it. There's another thing that was revealed today by the president that the press has not been aware of, but certainly this building, the U.S. Central Command, has known, is that Project Freedom, the idea of running ships through the Strait of Hormuz, it never stopped. It just went underground. And so there's some things the public knows and some things the public doesn't know. But ultimately, we've been protecting commercial shipping going through the Strait of Hormuz as the
What's up, brother Solal? Good morning to you,
president
man.
announced, to the tune of over 100 million barrels that have moved through and more in the middle of the night, protected by the United States in a way that Iran can't stop. They can't see it and they can't stop it. So answer me this. If our blockade is ironclad, which it is, we just disabled another tanker attempting to leave just yesterday. Our blockade has stopped almost 140 ships attempting to navigate in or out to Iranian ports. So if our blockade is ironclad, which it is, and we're able to move commercial shipping in and out of the Strait of Hormuz, who controls the Strait of Hormuz? And President Trump said it, and he's right. The United States of America controls the Strait of Hormuz. We're able to bring oil in and out and other things with partners, and have done so now for weeks and weeks in ways the Iranians don't want to acknowledge. That's a powerful reality on the ground. Add that to what the United States military, what Central Command did to their Navy, to their Air Force, to their air defenses, to their power projection capabilities. And we know exactly on this ledger who's on the strong end and who is not, who's had decisive effects and who can't defend. And so from the beginning, we've shown overwhelmingly the kind of capabilities the War Department can bring. This building continues to plan. And so those strikes that'll happen tonight will be strong. They will be clear. If they happen to happen.
Oh, shit. That's what the strikes were last night leading up into this morning, by the way. So let me back it up a little bit.
Kind of capabilities the War Department can bring. This building continues to plan. And so those strikes that'll happen tonight will be strong. They will be clear. If they happen to happen tomorrow night, they will be strong and they will be clear. And throughout, Iran has an opportunity to make a deal. That's the point. President Trump is a deal maker, the best in the world. He's prepared to make that deal. Iran would be wise to take it. Otherwise, they would have to deal with the types of plans that I just had a chance to see inside Central Command. And I'll end with this. I had a chance to thank the thousands of incredible Americans.
Yeah, Steve Easy, they'd be like, hey, do you have anything cheaper than free? We got Brother Solal coming in, by the way, with the membership for 11 months. Let's fucking go, bro. Thank you for that. Definitely a W. He says, hit the like button. Yes, sir. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I very much appreciate you guys. And it goes a long way. You don't have to like all this craziness, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So thank you for that.
Here at the headquarters that represent
thank you, Brother Solal.
Tens of thousands out in theater, just the absolute best, dedicated to the success of this mission. Whether it was Epic Fury or the blockade and the seizable results that CENTCOM has shown, and the media wants to spin it. They always want to make America look bad. They always want to make the president look bad and make it look like he hasn't accomplished incredible things. What CENTCOM has done here has been historic. And the military objectives that they've achieved have reset the table in this region and set the table for the kind of movement through the Strait of Hormuz based on U.S. control that changes the whole game. We know how much pressure Iran is under. It's clear. We see it. We read about it. We understand it. And so do they. And they would be wise to make only the kind of deal that President Trump would accept, which is a great deal. I'll take a few questions.
Mr. Secretary, 2 questions on Iran. With this latest response from Iran last night,
we'll only take a couple of questions because we still have how many stories to go through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Damn, we got 8 stories to get through still.
They not clearly violate the ceasefire. Have you underestimated Iran's military resolve? Like, why do you keep going back to trying to hit the same targets? And furthermore, you just mentioned it.
Who said we were going back to hit the same target?
Haven't you been targeting?
Most of their shots, by the way, missed and were shot down by us. So their efficacy and their ability to actually strike is incredibly diminished. And thankfully so, our air defenders are incredible and the capabilities we have are incredible. No one said anything about restriking, and we're hitting additional targets. You resurface them when you have to, but ultimately we know exactly what we're hitting and why, and they can't stop us in that capacity, which means they're going to be less able to see and sense the things they want to be aware of.
And then furthermore, you just mentioned you're going to plan to hit them and strike them hard tonight. If the response is in hitting bridges, electrical infrastructure, how would that not be a war crime potentially targeting civilian infrastructure?
But precisely the kind of disingenuous question that I'm used to from the media, impugning the motives of the folks on our side who are incredibly professional and incredibly effective. We will hit them hard on our terms, on the targets that improve the environment for us to operate in and undermine the capabilities that Iran wants to have. Again, they can't do that to us meaningfully the way that we can to them, but we're also clearly signaling to them, you have a choice. You have a choice in the way that you respond, and you have a choice with our incredible negotiating team in Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and the vice president and the president across the board, prepared, Marco Rubio, the whole team prepared to make a great deal that would benefit Iran. They choose not to, and as a result, they're going to meet United States Central Command again tonight in the way the president laid out clearly. Yes.
All right, that's good enough. We're going to move on. We have to. We got 8 stories to get through still, and we're 41 minutes already through when we only do an hour show. So we're definitely getting some OT today. So, oh shit! U.S. strikes multiple targets in Iran, CENTCOM says, and this is coming out yesterday. Obviously, we're leading ourselves up into this morning, and the strikes stopping early this morning. Just for enough time for there to be a deal to be signed. If there isn't going to be a deal made, then that's where we're going into the second half of this war. Anyways, just like I stated 1 week after the original ceasefire of this whole thing, that's exactly what I said. So anyways, let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll figure this out together.
Next up, we want to talk about the latest in the war in Iran. We're seeing right now, again, the U.S. trading strikes with Iran. This is the latest that we are learning here, just all the aftermath coming from the downing of our Apache helicopter. So for more on this.
What's up, Motogato? Great to see you, by the way, in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far.
Go on to Fox News' Jennifer Griffin joining us now with the latest. Jennifer.
Well, Mike, right now we're in a sort of watch and wait mode. We've heard from President Trump today, speaking from the Oval Office, that he was considering more strikes against Iran because overnight Iran fired about a dozen missiles, ballistic missiles and drones at U.S. bases across the Middle East.
She's specifically talking about the original retaliatory on the whole attacks on the Apache, that whole exchange there. That's what they're referring to as back before that.
None of those drones or missiles hit those bases, but they were intercepted or fell short of their targets. All of this, at this point, what people are describing to me, U.S. officials are saying this is not a ceasefire anymore. It is a less fire. So each side responding to breaches. If you go back to Sunday morning, that is when things really started to take a turn.
Sterling Will, my man, good morning to you, by the way. Great to see you. And yes, I miss Del Taco. I miss In-N-Out. Oh, man.
The Israelis the Hezbollah fired into Israel, and the Israelis fired back, killing several Hezbollah leaders. At that point, Iran got involved and fired ballistic missiles for the first time since the ceasefire in mid-April at Israel.
By the way, that was the unmanned boat right there that they just showed. They didn't say anything about it, but that was the unmanned boat that retrieved those 2 downed service members from the Apache helicopter that went down from that drone.
Hezbollah fired into Israel, and the Israelis fired back, killing several Hezbollah leaders. At that point, Iran got involved and
there it is, right here. This
fired
thing.
Ballistic missiles for the first time since the ceasefire.
That thing is so sick. And there's even a model that I don't know if that model does it, but where they can actually launch missiles from it.
In mid-April at Israel, that then resulted in
Papa D coming in with the $2, saying another cheap hello for Lucy. Yes, Lucy, she always gets the love. I very much appreciate, I'll give her some pets later.
And the U.S. Taking action. And then the Iranians fired on an American Apache helicopter Monday morning. The Apache helicopter was flying in the Gulf of Oman over international waters. And when the president spoke to Trey Yinks, our own Trey Yinks this morning.
And Pablo, good morning to you guys.
He described an extraordinary situation where this drone somehow, the projectile hit the Apache helicopter, but did not explode. It was on fire, and the 2 helicopter pilots managed to take the Apache down into the water.
Wow, I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that it didn't explode. It didn't completely ignite when the drone. It was a Shahed drone from Iran, and it was a one-way attack drone. And I didn't know that it didn't explode though.
It landed.
That's cool.
And then they went and they waited in the water
Thank
for
God.
about 2 hours. Yesterday, we reported that for the first time in the history of warfare, the U.S. military sent an unmanned sea drone out to rescue these 2 airmen. The 2 airmen were rescued. They are now stable and being treated. But all of this then unleashed last night's attacks. About 5 p.m. Eastern, the U.S. began targeting about 20 different sites, air defenses, radar systems along the coast, along the Strait of Hormuz and the Iranian coastline. And as a result, then Iran responded, and now the president says that he's losing patience and that he may now strike at bridges and critical infrastructure inside Iran. So we're in a wait-and-see mode. It's also important to point out, Mike, that Qatari negotiators arrived in Tehran today to try and get talks back on track, to get some sort of...
Which is good. I'm glad that those things are underway. So, but we're not going to hyper-focus on this story because this is old. This is from yesterday, and she is referring from the day before on a lot of these things. So we will move on because we're moving forward, not backwards here. Anyways, 13 hours ago, Iran strikes. Trump details Tomahawk missile barrage and threatens Tehran. So we're leading ourselves up into this morning and into the strikes that was going on this morning. So hang in there.
Story that we are monitoring right now.
This is a really quick update too.
Now out of the Mideast and renewed attacks by the United States on Iran, and some key details that the president is telling exclusively to Fox News as Trey Yingst had him on the phone. You can see this, a post from Trey Yingst on the ground in the Mideast as President Trump described the strikes tonight as, quote, violent and vicious, saying, quote, they didn't know where the hell hit them. President Trump said, the president told me Israel was not involved in the strikes tonight, but he did speak briefly with the...
What's up, Tiffany, by the way? Good morning.
Israelis. Trey Yingst again goes on to say, President Trump called from the Situation Room, saying we spoke for 15 minutes, reporting on our conversations in a few minutes on Fox.
And that's what I reported on when I showed you guys what Trey Yingst said. He reported that he just spoke to Trump. Now, this was obviously 15 hours ago. And this is what I said. Trump said Iran called him tonight and asked the U.S. to stop bombing. Trump said the bombing will stop shortly. He also told Trey Yingst if Iran doesn't sign a deal, quote, we'll bomb the shit out of them tomorrow night, which is tonight. That is tonight. All right, here we go.
News. And these are some of the details that he relayed to Trey about.
Oh, Sterling, my man, good morning to you. By the way, I know you've already been here, but you're watching. But thank you for the, gift of membership as well, man. Not only helping me, but you're helping someone else in the IWF. So thank you for that. Real quick, as you guys can see, our U.S. carries out more strikes against Iran. This is all details coming out from Trey Yingst, by the way. And this is why we have been following Trey Yingst on his reports, because he has been close with Trump on all of these things. Anyways, at least 49 Tomahawk missiles fired by the U.S. Trump says he spoke with the Iranian officials who asked him to stop bombing. Trump said if Iran does not sign an agreement, we'll bomb the shit out of them. And then Trump, most violated ceasefire in the history of the world, he claimed. So anyways, that's what we're looking at right here. Let's go ahead and fast forward here and see if there's anything else other than that report. Here's a U.S. Central Command report. Let's go ahead and hear what they've got to say real quick.
Post saying these additional self-defense strikes began at 5:15 p.m. Eastern time against multiple targets in Iran at the commander-in-chief's direction. The strikes are in response to Iran's unwarranted continued aggression. So some major developments on this, and no word if that ceasefire is over. If the escalation continues. So we are following that closely here on Live Now from Fox about all of these latest developments right there. And obviously we talk about it as President Trump also said that they are stealthily moving many barrels of oil through that region, through the Strait of Hormuz. That's also a major question, whether the Strait of Hormuz will be blocked and then blocked by the United States as well. So lots of unanswered questions, but renewed strikes by the United States, saying in retaliation for some of what's going on in that region, calling them self-defense.
All right. So I told you that was a really, really quick update. Violent protests erupt in Belfast after stabbing attack. Now, we're going to get into this here in a moment. Before we get back into Iran, this is something that was going on yesterday. I'm not sure of the actual activity right this second, but there was violent protests going on yesterday in Belfast. So let's go ahead and bring this up. I think that a lot of it was about an hour out of Belfast, but
welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Shauna Kalafi. We are continuing to follow the latest out of Northern Ireland. Violence continuing in Belfast following a knife.
Oh no, that's directly in Belfast. So there was multiple protests. Again, like I told you guys at the top of the hour, when I said there was violent protests, that means plural. You know, there was multiples going on at the same time.
Attack and the arrest
of all the same thing, though. They're all protesting the same thing regarding this basically an illegal alien that did a stabbing of a national there in Northern Ireland. So
of a Sudanese asylum seeker.
Right.
Fox senior foreign affairs
Sudanese asylum seeker that stabbed one of their people, and now they're raising chaos.
correspondent Greg Palcott reports from London.
Another night of scattered violence in Belfast, Northern Ireland. But as of now, nothing like the anti-immigrant riots.
What's up, Stephanie, by the way? Good morning to you.
Seen last night. Masked men burning families out of their homes. Businesses set on fire. Cars and buses torched. Police attacked. Firefighters struggling. Locals in shock.
It's terrifying being on the street.
All sparked by the brutal stabbing of 44-year-old Northern Ireland resident Stephen Ogilvie. The accused attacker, 30-year-old Sudanese man Hadi Al-Adid. In a widely viewed video, the victim is seen injured in the face and neck. He was blinded in one eye. Bystanders get involved. The assailant charged with attempted murder and held in jail.
People are rightly sickened by the horrific attack. But let me be clear, Mr. Speaker. The acts of violence and arson that followed
are
totally unjustified.
This fucking goofball.
Attack is not currently being treated as terrorism. What has spurred the chaos is the fact that the suspect made his way to Northern Ireland via European Union members France and the Republic of Ireland and was on a 5-year visa seeking asylum.
I very much doubt whether this man should have been in Britain at all.
Send them home! Send them home!
The unrest in Northern Ireland is the latest flare-up over immigration in the UK. Critics complain of lax policies here and in other European countries. Even outsiders like Elon Musk having a say, posting, "Only by protesting repeatedly and loudly will there be any change." Still, as people clean up a scarred Belfast that has seen so much conflict in the past between Catholics and Protestants, the last thing many want to see is a new fight.
There are issues to be dealt with, and we need our politicians to step in and help that debate, but we cannot do it with violence.
We cannot do it with violence.
I really dislike this reporter, by the way. His voice is really hard to listen to.
Says again tonight in Belfast.
I don't know who told him to speak like that either, because I know that he probably doesn't. He can't speak like this in real life.
It's been mostly water cannons from the police, projectiles, and a few fires from small groups of protesters. But the night is not over. In London, Greg Palcott, Fox News.
Fox News.
And
Dumbass.
more video
I got a question for you.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Yeah, facts.
of some of those riots over the past few days. This bus set on fire there in Belfast. Earlier today, the First Minister of North Ireland, Michelle O'Neill, and other officials giving a press conference with the latest on this outcry from the public. They also have some warnings for people participating in these riots.
They sit cozy in their homes and encourage all these other people to
Why are they doubled up? Literally, we got two microphones here doubling up the sound, or what?
go out onto the streets. And then also my colleague, the Mayor of Belfast, Rushmore Donnelly, has also received a visit from the PSNI to say that she is under threat, that this mayor of this great city is under threat by those people, again, that are involved in this type of activity, and that are, because of our commitment to diversity, because of our commitment to an inclusive
What's up, Michael, over there from North Carolina? Shout out.
city. This isn't acceptable. This is the Mayor of Belfast, who represents all the people here, who's only been installed 10 days ago, and who wants to be inclusive and welcoming and reach out to everybody. But yet she's in her first short week in office, she's been
What's up, brother Lee Lance? Good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning so far.
Visited by the PSNA to say their life is under threat. That is not acceptable. And if anybody thinks that makes their community safer, a beggar's belief to me. So it's totally unacceptable. And obviously we stand in solidarity with the mayor here today.
I would just like to start by saying my thoughts are very much with the victim of the attack. And just to confirm that this will not deter me, I will be at every quarter of this city. I will meet everyone that is willing to meet with me, and this does not represent the city that I have been elected to
Wow, she's the mayor? She looks like she's 19.
represent, and I look forward to continuing this work over this year.
I really kind of thought she might have been like maybe intern level or something like that, but that's crazy. I mean, she really is got to be she looks like maybe 30 at the latest.
Is going to be the most fantastic year, and this honestly cannot go on.
Okay, so we know her position, and they talk for the rest of this actually a lot. We're not going to go ahead and listen to that entire thing, but it is fucking chaos over there. Let's see what this image shows. Right
Northern
here at the end.
Ireland speaking as these protests continue. Violence also erupting. This is following some clashes with police that have been happening over the last few days. Police today blasting protesters with water cannons as they say the protesters set small fires and hurled bricks and rocks at them during the second night of violence over a brutal stabbing in Belfast, Northern Ireland. These clashes with police coming several hours after the 30-year-old man from Sudan appeared in court. He's charged with attempted murder after a stabbing attack that left a man seriously injured and triggered anti-immigrant violence. We will continue to bring you the latest updates out of Northern Ireland as those protests continue.
Charles is not wrong either in the chat. That's hilarious. All right, let's get into this next report here. Urgent plea. Iran calls Trump to stop bombing onslaught. So let's go ahead and bring that up quickly. You know what needs to happen is we need to all embrace our fuck ups. That's what we need to do.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Embrace thy process. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll get into this next story here.
Morning with Trey Yanks, who is live in Tel Aviv with the very latest on the war in Iran. Hi, Trey.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. Overnight, the United States unleashed powerful strikes against the Iranian regime. CENTCOM says that Iranian military surveillance systems, along with communication systems and air defense sites across Iran, were hit. Speaking from the Situation Room, President Trump told Fox News that 49 Tomahawk missiles hit locations as close to 40 miles from the capital of Tehran. Positions were also targeted along the southwestern part of Iran.
Now, this is what we already reported on, what Trey was already speaking on when he broke the news. Now he's doing a report on it, which is this, and then we're going to get into right after this. White House gives also a first look inside that UFC Freedom 250 venue. And then we're going to get into President Trump issues new threats at Iran. And this is just coming out 2 hours ago. Then we have breaking, quote, bigger Iran bombings coming, Trump reveals just 2 hours ago. Trump is getting fed up with Iran an hour ago. So we got a lot to discuss.
President described the strikes as violent and vicious. Also, President Trump says top Iranian officials called him directly, asking him to stop the bombing. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth spoke before the strikes began.
Instead, they're going to have tap, tap, tap bombs dropping on key facilities in Iran from the
And
United
we showed
States of
this
America.
too.
And that's not because we want to restart anything we don't have to restart. It's because the War Department is prepared to set the terms to ensure that we get the kind of deal President Trump expects.
Now, in response, the Iranians launched ballistic missiles and drones at Gulf countries, including Bahrain and Kuwait. The Jordanian army says they dealt with at least 20 Iranian ballistic missiles in the skies of their country. Today, the Iranian Foreign Ministry says the strikes overnight rendered the ceasefire practically meaningless. Guys?
Trey, as you just reported, we're going after military sites. But do you think we start going after leadership?
Hell yeah, Carrie. W, making some breakfast. Man, what's on the menu?
Again, in conjunction with the Israelis.
Look, President Trump is certainly leaving that option on the table. That is what I gathered from the conversation that I had with him last night. Remember, he was sitting alongside Vice President J.D. Vance, and Vance talked about the negotiation process. Remember, the priority here for the Trump administration is to get a good faith deal, and the vice president has been working overtime to do just that. But ultimately, if the Iranians are unwilling to give up their nuclear ambitions, open the Strait of Hormuz, and de-escalate across the region, President Trump says they're going to get hit with additional strikes. He even told me if they don't sign the deal on the table tonight, he will bomb the S out of them. And so it gives you a sense of the president's mindset right now. And if the Iranians are unwilling to make those concessions, then ultimately we are
bomb the S out of them. Yeah, we'll bomb the shit out of them is what you mean to say. You know, fucking lamestream media.
looking at more days of military action ahead. President Trump has a variety of options on the table. And when I spoke with him yesterday morning, he said he was getting closer to bombing Iranian power plants and bridges, which would be a major escalation. But the president is trying to escalate to de-escalate here. And that is exactly what we saw last night with these strikes by CENTCOM.
Yeah, Secretary Hegseth said that if we need to negotiate with bombs, we will negotiate with bombs. And that is what took place last night. Trey Yanks live for us in Tel Aviv. Trey, thank you.
Yep, and that's enough of that. We don't necessarily need anybody else coming on here discussing what they think. I'd rather just get reports, and that's what we're doing. So let's go ahead and move on into the, I guess, first look inside of this UFC Freedom 250 venue over there in D.C. Well, right there at the White House. So
we are now getting some new images of the UFC 250.
All right, we'll do the sandwich. You know, I mean, fuck, we got to do the sandwich again.
Man, motherfucker talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Always a W, bro.
Event and the venue that's going to be hosted there at the White House. Take a look at this because some reporters on the ground are getting that first look at this moment. So you can see there in the background it says Freedom 250. Wow. You also see the White House. And just look at that, how it's all being set up.
We are officially no team. We still got a lot to get through. So you guys know what it means. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Let's get your money in. Big W for that, by the way.
There, the stage is set. We are waiting for this specific event to get underway in just a matter of days. Now, the UFC, again, set to hold its first event on the White House South Lawn with a mixed martial arts show timed for President Trump's 80th birthday and the celebration of the nation's 250th anniversary. This is just one of the live images that we have. We also have this one, courtesy of multiple feeds that we are getting down there on the ground in Washington, D.C. Now, UFC Freedom 250 set to begin Sunday night.
You be safe out there, Naomi. We always appreciate you and your work.
CEO of UFC, Dana White, friends with President Trump, and the two have discussed for more than a year the idea of bringing mixed martial arts to the White House. Their relationship dates to UFC's infancy as White reorganized the company and led its rise into national prominence. Now, the cage and stage will themselves be surrounded by thousands of temporary seats. You can see them here as the camera continues to pan in these live images, including ringside space for a full marching band.
Wow.
That can set the entire scene to blaring music. So you see journalists here getting that first look of this entire venue. Pretty cool stuff. Let's take you back out to this other live image. It gives you a closer look at the actual cage and the stage that is set there. Now, the fight 14.
Let's see what this is being said from UFC. The Octagon has made it to the White House. Will be live Sunday, June 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern on Paramount Plus. UFC Freedom 250 is presented by Crypto.com and Ram Trucks. All right. Good to know. All right, let's go and get into this next story here. We got to. President Trump issues new threats at Iran. This is just coming out 2 hours ago. So there we go. Let's go and bring this up and we'll quickly get into it.
And welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox as we continue to follow some breaking news. President Trump posting to Truth Social that we will hit Iran very hard tonight. Also sharing in that post on Truth Social is saying that at some point in the not too distant future, we will be taking Karg Island. So if you are just joining us, this was...
Holy shit. I was biting my tongue the whole time because I knew he said that this morning. And I've been biting my tongue until we got this exact right here. Will be taking Karg Island. You guys know what Karg Island is. I'm sure that you guys have been watching enough to know what it is. It's that little tiny island that's way north up in the Gulf up there and right there off the coast of Iran. And that's where they do all their oil manufacturing or a lot of their infrastructure for refining certain oil, all that kind of shit. It really is the majority of their oil is right there. So of how they deal with their oil as well. So it's a big, this is a big deal. And there is military assets and stuff like that on Karg Island, for instance. And we have attacked those in the past, in the very beginning of this war, kind of. That's where we did take out some of their defenses over there as well. But
also sharing in that post on Truth Social,
Brother So Loud coming in with the overtime pay, my man. Thank you very much. With the 10 spot saying overtime pay. Thanks, Mike, for your hard work. I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate that shit, man. That goes a long fucking way with me. I very much appreciate it.
In the not too distant future, we will be taking Karg Island. So if you are just joining us, this was posted maybe about an hour or so ago at this point, as President Trump threatened today to launch major strikes on Iran and seize control of its oil and gas industries as continuing attacks between the warring countries continues. President Trump saying in this social media post that the U.S. would hit Iran very hard tonight and would assume total control of Iran's oil and gas industries, including the key Karg Island oil terminal in the not too distant future. President Trump compared his plans for Iran to how the U.S. assumed control of Venezuela's oil sector after capturing then-President Nicolas Maduro in January. This post also comes after the U.S. and Iran traded strikes for a second straight day. The American attack, which lasted into this morning in Iran, appeared more intense and widespread than the day before. Iran released little information on the extent of the damage and said it fired back at Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan as it had a day before. Now, we also heard from Fox News as they just spoke to President Trump on the phone. We have a series of posts that I also wanted.
Which I already showed you guys exactly what those exchanges were, right? Yes, about the hitting them very hard today. So we actually haven't seen this post, but I knew that this was what's going on here. We're getting more information. We dropped $250 million worth of bombs on them last night. Holy shit. Wow.
The first post saying President Trump puts Iran on notice after warning the regime he'll hit them very hard today. A quote from the president. He says, they have no defense. They can't do anything about it. We dropped $250 million worth of bombs on them last night. He spoke on Fox and Friends just moments ago. And President Trump argued Iran is already feeling the effects of the strikes, saying they're in submission. They just don't know it yet. We also have this other post coming in from Fox News saying President Trump says Iran could wave the white flag of surrender whenever they want after the U.S. took out the Islamic Republic's Navy, Air Force, and anti-aircraft, but slams the mainstream media on how they would cover the victory. He says, quote, it could be the greatest deal in history. They could wave the white flag of...
Man, we have a lot of shit breaking right now as we're speaking, by the way. We're about to get into all of it, but emergency crews respond to incident at Pentagon. Emergency crews are responding to hazardous materials incident reported at the Pentagon 15 minutes ago. Let's see what else is going on here. There is... And then the new issuance of new threats to Iran.
Surrender. So they could say, we surrender, we're finished, we've had it. The United States is the greatest power, praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this. They could say it
I literally just caught that.
Out and clear, and the fake news would say it was a great victory for Iran. We do have one more post here from that phone conversation with Fox News as President Trump confirms that bigger, more powerful bombings against Iran will take place tonight. The president also telling Fox and Friends the U.S. could go into Iran with a small group of soldiers and, quote, take over the whole place, but also says he doesn't want to have American boots on the ground. He says there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be bigger, more powerful. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place.
No, that's an understatement, or a way overstatement, I should say. You don't need any boots on the ground, and if you're going to do this, if you put a small group of soldiers, they're not going to take over the whole place. I promise you, that's not how it's going to work. And that would be a very bad idea to attempt.
That just coming in here from Fox News, as once again, President Trump just shared this to Truth Social a very short time ago, saying we can anticipate that Iran will be hit very hard tonight. And at some point in the not too distant future, we will be taking Karg Island, he goes on to say, and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control of their oil and gas markets, much like we have with Venezuela, which is working out brilliantly for both Venezuela and the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, just a note here, Karg Island, located on the other side of the Persian Gulf, from U.S. bases in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, is crucial for Iran's oil industry, through which 90% of its exports pass. And it's important because Iran's coastline is mostly too shallow for tanker ships to dock there as well. So American troops would be pretty vulnerable on Kharg Island because of its close proximity, which is about 21 miles to the Iranian mainland, from which missiles, drones, and artillery could be fired. Now, also, I did want to share this because CENTCOM posted this video to social media a bit earlier this morning as well. As we learned, the U.S. military continued to enforce...
This is when they disabled another ship, I think last night.
Its blockade of Iranian ports, saying today it fired missiles to disable a tanker attempting to transport Iranian...
So it was today.
...in oil. An Indian official said a U.S. strike on a different merchant ship earlier this week killed 3 Indian sailors. It was the third time this week that back-and-forth strikes have rattled the Middle East. The first involving attacks between Iran and Israel, followed by the 2 rounds of fire between the U.S. and Iran.
Man, that's terrible. Fuck. That's so crazy.
Which hit countries in the region that host American bases. So we continue to follow all these developments here on Live Now from Fox. And of course, if we get any more reporting from Fox News or Fox's Trey Yingst, who has been speaking directly with...
By the way, we have over 380 people in here between both the live streams. Make sure you guys double tap that screen. Hit that like button if you're on the horizontal side. Listen, you guys don't have to like and love all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can like it for me and what we're doing here on Insane Wheels. So thank you for that. All right, here we go.
With President Trump, we will bring that to you.
Of course. So let's go ahead and bring up this next story here with this breaking 2 hours ago with the, quote, bigger Iran bombings coming, Trump reveals. So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll quickly get into it. And we still got all these other things breaking at the moment, so I'm trying to get into the breaking news right now. I'm trying my damnedest to run through this.
Well, I'll say it this way.
This is Trump now speaking on Fox and Friends.
That is almost an ultimate.
This morning, 2 hours ago.
Made him now. That there's no more negotiation at this point. You went back and forth with them. You gave them 2 weeks. And now they have to take the deal that you have offered.
And we sped this up at 1.5. So they're going to sound like they're on drugs. Or they're going to sound like they're on some meth or something.
Them, that you tried to negotiate in good faith, or everything goes and the people can be liberated. Is that what's happening right now?
Well, that could happen if we want to keep going. And, you know, the deal is a very good deal. The problem with the deal is that it could be the greatest deal in history. They could wave the white flag of surrender. They could say, we surrender, we're finished, we've had it. The United States is the greatest power. Praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this. They could say it loud and clear. And
what's up, Crazy Mama? Good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning so far.
News would say it was a great victory for Iran. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We're killing them. It's killing them. They have no Navy. They have no Air Force. They have no anti-aircraft. You know, we're flying planes over the middle of Tehran, and they don't have no idea what we're there. We've knocked out all of their radar, all of their anti-aircraft. Much of their missiles, they have probably less than 20%. We think about 20%. Most of their launchers, they have the missile launchers, which are quite important. Their drone capacity is way down. You see it. I mean, it's way down. Their attacks are very minor. They're finished. And yet, the fake news, just like with the election, the fake news is out there saying, wow, Iran is doing just so well. Trump is doing terribly. I watched it yesterday, one of the shows for 5 minutes. I haven't seen the show in a long while. This fake Joe Scarborough talking about how well Iran is doing. I'm saying, where do they come from? It's just the craziest thing. Yeah. And behind the scenes, I will tell you, they won't even dispute it, although they probably would because it makes sense. They're very good. Iran is very good at publicity, but they're not good at fighting. So I took a look, and I must tell you, they can't believe the press they're getting. They can't even believe it. Yeah. And they told me, they said, it's amazing how well we're doing in the papers. We're not doing so well. They're negotiating with us to make a deal.
Well,
it's hard for them because they are proud. They're very proud.
We know
they've been the bully of the Middle East for 47 years.
Yeah, they have.
They've been ripping off our presidents and other countries for years. They played Obama for a fool. The JCPOA is one of the worst deals I've ever seen, other than NAFTA, the NAFTA trade deal, which was maybe the worst deal ever made.
Mr. President.
But the JCPOA was a road to a nuclear weapon. Mine is a road to no nuclear weapon. Right. They can't have it says you cannot have a nuclear weapon. We will not have. And I didn't like it. It wasn't strong enough because it said develop. You cannot develop. I said, no, I want buy also. So they fought me on that for a day, and then they agreed to it. You cannot develop or purchase a nuclear weapon. You know, so we got everything. But the press just covers it so crazily. Don't worry about it. No matter what I do, the press will say, it was a great victory for Iran. These people are crazy. It's Trump arrangements.
Yeah, Mr. President, I agree with Brian. Don't worry about it. Our viewers are watching Fox, and so they see this coverage. They're not reading the New York Times. But we know that you've destroyed their air defense systems, their radar.
I look at all these sources. I don't just hyperfixate on Fox. Hell no.
Their Navy is at the bottom of the ocean. We know that we know that America is winning this fight. But when they destroy or they shoot down one of our Apache helicopters and we strike Iranian targets and then they fire missiles at our bases in Bahrain and Kuwait and Jordan, we have to fight back. So when you say you don't think America has the appetite to do what we're seeing tonight, I think we do. I think we're ready to see this because, like you said,
well, part of the problem is that they read the fake news. I mean, because Fox is great. All the anchors on Fox have been fantastic.
Oh my God, stop the glazing on that shit. I don't give a fuck about no Fox.
But Soleimani was.
Trump warns that we will take Kharg Island. That's the part that I wanted to hear out of this.
I don't know Trey Yingst, but I mean, he covers it so accurately. It's so beautiful to watch. And he's got a level of excitement.
Ready to see this because, Like you said.
Well, Ainsley, part of the problem is that they read the fake news. I mean, because Fox is great. My single anchor has been great. You Trey Yanks, but I mean, he covers it so accurately. It's so beautiful to watch.
Well, he is doing a good job.
He's got a level of excitement that's amazing. But the accuracy is so good. I just saw him on your show a little while ago. And I said, that's exactly what's happening. I'm not saying I want the advantage or this. I just say that's what's happening. And that's the way it should be covered.
Okay,
he
cool.
was a top general. He was a brilliant general, an evil general.
I want to hear about you taking, will be taking Carg Island. That's what I want to hear.
But he was a brilliant general without his legs. So I took care of that. And now we have Iran in a very, I guess the ultimate position. They have no choice. The only negative, we have everybody writing about it incorrectly. We have fake news.
But my feeling is like your strategy is like an anaconda. You'll talk to them, but you're slowly squeezing them to death.
Yeah. I'm talking to them. Yeah. Hey, I sort of like,
Hey, I very much appreciate that, Texas Gidget, by the way.
I'd like to get a deal now, less than 3 or 4 weeks ago, because, once you do this, I just think it's just go a step further. But I don't know that America has the appetite to do what I would really much prefer doing. You remember in Iraq, I said, don't go in, but they went in. They made a big mistake. It should have never left. That war lasted 10 years. Killed tens of thousands of people, millions of people on both sides, millions of people. Nobody ever reported that. We've lost 13 soldiers in 2 wars. In Venezuela, we lost none, took over the country. And in Iraq, in Iran, we lost 13. In Vietnam, we lost hundreds of thousands, 19 years. Nobody says that.
Thinking here would be total capitulation. And the one thing you brought up yesterday is it's going to be bridge and power plants next. Is that next? And
but I'd rather not do it, because once you do that, the people...
Yeah, see, I'd rather us not do that either.
...will suffer. Like I heard you mentioning water. Water is really a devastating loss for them.
Yeah, no, that should be, really, it should be off the table.
I could do that in 1 minute. They knock out.
What is your message to
the well, of course we know that.
Water. What are they going to do?
What is your message to the Iranian people? Mr. President, they now have the internet.
Well, my message to the Iranian people is they're afraid, because they have no guns, and the other side has guns. And they have a rally, and they get shot. They hung the wrestler and his 2 friends. They hung him from a crane, believe it or not, violently. He was a very top wrestler. And they hung him. They've killed at least 40 to 50,000 people. And the people are afraid. When you have a machine gun staring you in the face, or when you have 4 snipers on 4 different buildings shooting people in the head, it's hard to have a rally, okay? It's not a rally that one goes down, another, 3 or 4 people laying down alongside of you with a bullet in their brain, and they run. I can't blame them. Who's going to blame them for that?
So can you get them weapons, Mr. President? Can you get them weapons?
Provide air cover?
Well, we actually sent them weapons, and we were very disappointed by the Kurds, to be honest with you. The Kurds let us down. I disagreed with the decision. I was saying, no, I don't believe they'll deliver them. I think they kept them for themselves. I think it's a disgrace. But I'll remember that, Kurds. I'll remember that. But they have some guns, but, they don't have the weapons. Look, even if they had some, they're petrified.
Yo, real quick, we got Davey PJ in the building, sending in a 5 spot. Very much appreciate that, by the way. And he says, greatest president of all time. Thank you very much for the 5 spot. And first time I've seen you in here. So very much appreciate that, by the way.
Because this is different. This isn't like in this country. If you shout at, so you have a vicious group of people rioting someplace. If the police shout at them, they end up ruining the policeman. They take away his badge, they take away his family, his life, his pension, his everything. They take away his car.
Mr. President,
slightly different. Over there, they shoot him, and the rallies dissipate very quickly. As frankly, I think it's pretty normal.
Why won't they
very rarely can that happen, because there are not many countries. China was one that was able to do it in Tiananmen Square with the tanks. That tank operator, boom, rolled right over him when they went in front of the tank. There are very few people that can do that to their own people. In other words, the tank operators didn't. With Erdogan in Turkey, they were unable. They tried to pull something on him. He's a friend of mine. He's a very strong.
And neither Easy Frank. It's Carg with a KH Carg. I think it's KHERG. I think that's how it's spelled.
And Mr. President,
they were doing it. The tanks could not do it. They could not run over their people.
We only have a minute left, but will there be more bombing tonight?
Yeah, there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be a bigger, more powerful. Don't forget, we've knocked out all of their anti-aircraft. They don't have any They have nothing.
Now this is the stuff that we're talking about. The escalation that we're going to see tonight. Tonight is going to be fucking brutal. It's going to be the end of halftime, and it'll be us going into the second half of this war. And we'll be reporting on it. As you guys know, this is what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday mornings. But, yes, we only actually are supposed to be on the air for an hour per day, So, but when shit like this is going on, usually we do go a little bit longer. And right now we're an hour and 18 minutes already, and we still got 2 other stories that we got to cover right after this.
I mean, they may get lucky with a shoulder weapon or something, but for the most part, they have no defense.
What did the representative say in your phone call?
They're finished. Excuse me. They're finished. But the papers, the media refuses to write it. They're finished. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place. They're finished. And the media is crooked. They're just like our elections. The media is crooked.
Mr. President, thanks so much for joining us today.
There we go. Let's go ahead and they're ending it right there. And thank you, Gary. That is how you spell it, by the way. I can tell already by just looking at it. But let me go ahead and show you guys where Carg Island is. If you guys don't already know where it is, it's all the way up here. Here it is, Carg Island. And it's interesting how down here, they spell it with a K when you zoom in, but when you zoom out, it's spelled with a G at the end. That's super interesting. Anyways, this is Carg Island up in the north, and that's where they deal with majority of their oil up there. So it sounds like we're going to be taking over that shit over there possibly tonight. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring up this next story here. Trump is fed up with Iran. This is a very quick update. So I don't know if this is a report or what it is. We're going to get through this, and then we're going to have to get into the emergency crews respond to an incident at the Pentagon, because I guess their emergency crews are responding to hazardous materials incident as of just 28 minutes ago. So we're trying to get you guys there. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring this up. Give me 2 seconds here. Boom.
The administration ramping up pressure on the Iran regime to reach a deal as U.S. forces remain on alert after completing another round of strikes as close as 40 miles from the nation's capital. Retired Brigadier General John Titor joins us right now. General, I know you've been calling to go back to action. Are you pleased with the choices we've made so far? And do you hope we make more tonight?
By the way, before he answers that, listen, we have well over 380 people in here between both the live streams. Make sure you guys hit that like button and double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. Listen, you don't have to like all this craziness, but you guys can like it for me and what we do here. So I very much appreciate it. Here we go.
Brian, I think what we've done in the last 2 nights has been fairly minimalist and proportionate, but I do think the president of the United States is finally getting fed up after 9 weeks into a 2-week ceasefire. And I think by taking down some of their air defense sites and their radar sites, that it might be preparing the battlefield for something more significant tonight.
So in doing so, you think they're getting the message, the regime?
Brian, I don't think so.
Yeah, Stephanie, no worries. That's why I show stuff on the map and stuff, because I know there's actually a lot of islands up there in that whole, like in the strait, off to the west of the strait. It's definitely interesting, you know.
Not at all.
I
think they continue to act and negotiate in bad faith. That the president 9 weeks ago in early April, when it was on the verge of us being decisive against their regime, gave them a chance to negotiate in good faith. And in every possible turn, they have failed to do so. And I think now it's time to resume large-scale military strikes, but not just at operational or tactical targets, but striking at the heart of the regime to really change the calculus and get their attention.
The wild card of the Iranian people, who are desperate for freedom, 89 of the 90 million, maybe 89.5 of the 90 million. They can communicate now. The internet's up. How could we maximize that to add additional pressure during this time?
Brian, I think if we do return to large-scale strikes and strike at the heart of the regime...
By the way, it's plata or plomo. Okay, so plata or plomo.
That is regime strongholds and internal security hubs, then it gives the Iranian people the confidence that we are providing some level of top cover for them. And I think with that confidence, it gives them a chance to make the move and protest to flip the regime that they haven't had a chance to do in the last 90 days.
Should we look for Israel to join us in this, or if they're not hit, they should stay on the side? What would you prefer?
Brian, I think that they add additional intelligence and mass to the strikes. You know, in the first 6 weeks of active conflict, they were the ones that were striking at the heart of the regime. We need to take a page from their playbook and
yeah, but I mean, listen, okay,
do the same thing. But I think if we do so,
we'll just allow this dude to say what he needs to say
alongside of one another. Then
he is a former Middle East senior defense.
It really
he was
provides
former,
the mass.
I think
that
Air Force
gives us a chance to do something decisive.
So I can take that as a yes. So a lot of military people say, stop using the word proportional. Just hit them. Hit them the way we can hit them, We are stronger. We're more prepared.
I wonder why he shook his head like that. Anyways, that's enough of this. I got to figure out what's going on with the Pentagon right now. This has been breaking. We have to get to it. Here we go.
To live now from Fox as we continue to follow some breaking news out of the Pentagon. This is a social media post from the Arlington Fire and EMS. They shared this maybe just about 20 minutes or so ago, stating that their ACFD units, including our hazardous materials team, are currently operating at the Pentagon in support of the Pentagon's hazmat team during a hazardous materials incident. We do have a live look there outside of the Pentagon. This is a live look from the exterior of the building. And we have seen the camera pan from side to side. As we take a look at this, we really can't see much in terms of that hazmat incident. And the information that we're getting into our newsroom is just that tweet stating that Arlington Fire and EMS units, including their hazardous materials team, are currently operating at the Pentagon in support of the Pentagon's hazmat team during a hazardous materials incident. Still a lot of questions left unanswered at this hour, including what specifically the potential hazardous materials include and what led
What's up, brother GEG? I see you in here.
to this incident. We've been keeping a very close eye on social media posts as well as web
And Charlie Rose, good morning.
sites with the Pentagon. And as of now, we don't have any particular information, but this is a relatively large police presence as there are multi-agencies responding to this particular incident itself. This is from Fox News saying that a hazardous materials incident reported at the Pentagon by emergency officials in Arlington, Virginia. So at this hour, what we do know is that Arlington EMS is responding in conjunction with the hazardous materials unit at the Pentagon itself, resulting in a large police presence right there. I'm continuing to comb some of these informations, and I'm pulling up our Fox 5 DC web article on this. It also shares that, stating that an incident involving hazardous materials prompted an emergency response at the Pentagon this morning. The Arlington Fire and EMS said its units, including its hazardous materials team, responded to assist the Pentagon Force Protection Agency with this situation. As we continue to read this article, it says officials have not released details about the type of hazardous materials involved. So this continues.
So as you guys know, we're going to be following the fuck out of all of this. That's what I do. You know, this has become my entire, not in my entire life, but it's definitely become a huge portion of my life. Anyways, listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for showing so much love, support, donations, engagement, hitting that like button, double tapping that screen. If you guys are on the vertical side, I very much appreciate it. Listen, we'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Stick around. We're going to be sending you guys off to my buddy, Chaotic Truth. He always hosts some crazy-ass panels and crazy-ass topics. Make sure you guys go over there. It's going to be great entertainment for you. Let them know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid or / Insane Wheels raid. So listen. We'll see you guys here tomorrow. Much love, honor, respect to you guys. God bless.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, Insane Wheels rises a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane Wheels.